Hey, how's it going, everybody? Sarasota Tim. Just pulling out of the Human Bean. You can see it in my rearview mirror. She gave me a little extra this morning for these little chocolate-covered espresso beans. They don't look chocolate on the outside, though. I have 3 more. I got a small. Only half and half. No sweetener. That is the best cup of coffee I ever drank in my life. These little things right here, they'll get you going. They'll make you want to drink this. $3, pennies under $3 for a small coffee. I think the sales tax is kind of high here. Wow. You can get a bag of those things. Now you know I want to guzzle this coffee now. I want you to see the transformation from being a deadbeat that I feel like and look like right now. Woo, yeah. Oh, yeah. Folks, it don't get any better than this. Well, I don't have any Old Milwaukee. That's really good. First cup of the day. Half and half only. That's no problem. I can try to do the black, but, to taste the coffee. I have a subscriber that wants to send me some coffee, and he's going to pick it up today. He's still going to pick it up, but I don't have an address yet for him to send it to. So I was going to have him send it to Tim in Apple Valley. Tim said, that's no problem. I'm going to come over there. Then Tim texted me this morning, when's that coffee getting here? I'm ready to hit the road. I said, he's not even buying it till today. It's Monday. I said, don't worry about it. Come on. We'll get that coffee delivered somewhere. So Tim's coming over. I was just asking the girl there, how many human beings are there in Bullhead City? She said there's 2. I know where the other one is. And there's one in Lake, did she say Lake Havasu? Or something like that. She said, which is really close. So I'm going to make my way. You're going to get some videos of these nearby towns. And something about Vegas is calling me. It's an hour and a half drive. I'm not even going to take the Bushwhacker, which is what I did last time. Did I take the Bushwhacker with me last time? Yeah, because I was going to spend the night. I thought I'd stay a couple of nights. I didn't know. And I'm just going to drive the truck over there and back the same night. I'm going to walk around. I don't care what time I get back. I get back when I get back. It's an hour and a half. But I like to go back over to Vegas. I'd like to go, although you can't video probably on the inside of the casinos. That's a problem. But you can walk up and down the road and that big water fountain thing they got at MGM or whatever that hotel's called. It's been in many movies. But we'll go down. I'm gonna look at the map. We're gonna go to a few places. It's really nice driving without hearing that knocking sound of my seat. I thought I had some kind of suspension issue, leaf spring, and then it got a little bit worse, right? I said it got worse because, the bolt kept backing out a little bit more. They were all loose. I just hand tightened them. And whoever told me that I've got to torque them down, respectfully, you really don't, because when I took them out, I did use a socket, and they were not, hey, they could have been torqued, but they were not very difficult to break loose. They were very snug, if I shouldn't even say very. I was surprised, actually. And that is about what I was able to achieve with those channel locks. Believe me, if I hear the first little rattle, the socket will come out and I'll wrench them babies down. But I believe I got it. And if I hear it again, I'll certainly know what it is. I got to wash this truck. I did a really good job yesterday with the wet wipes, Walmart Equate wet wipes, and a toothbrush. And I was able to go in the cracks of all of these things on the console. It had no alcohol in it. All across my dash, the screen, it was dust all over it. The steering wheel, you could see the dirt like from my hand or when the guy changed my oil. Just dirty. All cleaned up, nice looking. She's a good truck. We just need to get the outside looking pretty and the tires dressed, the rims clean. Need to get that camper washed too somehow. If somebody can come out and do it, if they had a mobile service, I guess the same mobile guys that come out and do your trucks and cars can do the camper. Maybe I'll look for that, because it's not worth my time to load it up. You can't get it in those car washes. You're too long. They're too high. They're hitting the wand up there. I had some concerns about my health, but I'm sure I'm wrong. Here's what it is. I find myself, when I was traveling over here, wanting to stop and rest my eyes. And then even while I'm here, last night it was about 9 o'clock. I think I'm jet lagged. I'm on the other, that's what it is. I'm 2 hours earlier. I thought I was coming down with diabetes, or when I heard something about you urinate a lot and you get tired a lot if you're, approaching diabetes. You watch these little things that pop up on Facebook in between reels. I like watching reels. Speaking of reels, let's talk about that. I watched one. I tried to make the graph. I was going to repeat it for you guys, but I'm not a big time editor. So the guy comes on and he says, imagine your life as these squares. He said, this square represents 1 year. Then the next visual he shows you is 90 squares. And he said this, and he highlights the first square and the last square, and he says, this is your first birthday, and this one is your last breath if you make it to 90 years old. Then he said something to the effect that, it doesn't look like that much, does it? And then he says, I'm sure that you have lots of goals and dreams of, what you want to do in your life. But think about last week, how fast it went by. And then he shows a graph of 52 weeks. And then he shows another graph of 52 weeks in a row and those 90 years. He goes, each week, goes by. This is to show you that your life is finite, very finite. And when you look at it in the squares, and then he closes the deal by saying, Brake Master's right there. I just passed my gym. Then he closes the deal and he says that how you fill your squares is up to you. Just make sure that you've done what you wanted to do when you get to your last square. And folks, when you think about the average age, the reason I got that is I had Googled what is the average age. It is still 73 years old. 73 years old is the average age for a male. A woman gets, 4 or 5 more years in the United States. And all that stuff that people like to say, if you reach 65, you got a lock on 150. Baloney. In fact, the average, the percentage of people, the chances of living to be 80 or 85 is only 16% for a male from 65. Now, when you consider those squares, I got it around here somewhere. Let me pull over. I'll show it to you. I got to show you this. I wasn't going to do it. Oh, I just ran over some glass. Hope I don't get a flat. Here's the gym. That is some good coffee they have here at the Bean. Oh boy. It's way down there. All right, folks. Look at this. This is 80 circles. I didn't want to draw a square. It was easier to make circles. This is 1 year. This is your first birthday. That is 73 years old. That's your last breath. I went all the way out to 80. How you fill these circles, one of these lines is a decade. Think about this. 3 of those lines, 2 of those lines, you only get 7. 2 of those lines are growing up from a baby. And, you know, if you're lucky to live to 73 as a healthy person, you probably, you know, will be doing pretty well. You know, if you're healthy and thin and, you know, you can walk a lot and do all that. Your mobility skills are good. But 2 of them are growing up, and 1 of them can be, you know, when we talk about the age from 62 to 67, what about from 60 to 70? I mean, that's a very progressive, constant, like a 70-year-old can look back when he was 60 and think, man, he probably talks to 60-year-olds and says, you're just a young whippersnapper. I'm 70. And then when you get to be 75 and you're already over the average age of 73, and I know a lot of people can live to be 80, but not that many. 90, I mean, is that even living? From 80 to 90, you're not out there jumping rope, okay? You could be. You could be Jack LaLanne and, you know, swim the ocean, but for the most part, 2 lines are gone for growing up. 2 or 3 more of these lines are decades of you making money, paying for a house and kids and a wife and cars and all that. And then you get some squares. There should be squares, some circles that you got to fill in. And hopefully you've done a good job in that middle part where you've, you know, saved some money and done some stuff. You haven't gotten yourself into a lot of debt. And you're able to come out, you know, on line 6 with no debt and a little bit of money in the bank. So life is finite. He says right here, I wrote down some notes. These are profound statements. He says, it all seems so incredibly short, doesn't it? When he showed this, I was like, yeah, it really does. And then he says, how fast did last week fly by? I mean, for me, they just peel off. They're just peeling off. You get 52 of them in a year. In case you didn't know that. You need to understand your life is very finite. And the Bible even talks about that. That your life, you're nothing but a mist that's here for a little while and then vanishes in the scheme of time. Okay? We're alive for a very short time. It's just a fraction of the course of human history. You're just a fraction of the course of human history. You come in here and you're born and you do what you do in that middle part, in that very last chapter of your life where you're trying to enjoy freedom, that last bit. All these other years you've just, it's not wasted, but I mean, it was growing up. It was getting educated. It was living at home. And then it was, you know, if you went through what we're going through today, you know, with inflation and all the stress and drugs and trouble and the crap that you get put in your head from the media and Facebook and TikToks and all this stuff that people are doing. It was much a simpler time when I was younger. And you deal with that stress that ages you and causes you to think a certain way. They remove God from schools. And if you're of this new generation, like a millennial or Generation X or whatever they're calling them, and you don't even remember when phones had cords on them, and so you get all this time that goes by growing up, then you work, and that part I was just talking about, it's at a difficult time right now. Inflationary times, craziness, all this media and crap bombarding your mind that's causing you to die early because you're learning to hate, be a racist, and all these things that can influence you. That's what they teach us. That's what they're teaching. That's what's on the internet. That's the evil world. It's racism, hatefulness, worldly things, me, not for the other person, get for you. Short-term lies. They make alcohol look so luxurious on commercials with the fancy ice cubes and some beautiful woman and a guy having a great time drinking a liquor drink, when in fact, in reality, that's not the reality. Then the person said on this analogy, it's just a fraction of human course in human history. But what you want to fill these circles with is up to you. This was what really brought it home to me, right here. At the end of the thing I watched, it said, but what you want to fill these circles with, remember, you don't even have any choice of filling these in. You're just a baby. You're just growing up. You don't know anything till you're 21. And today's kids, don't get me started. We grew up learning with hard knocks. We grew up by the hair of the head, as we like to say. We learned to appreciate. We worked for our allowance. We didn't get anything. We got our butts tore up. I wouldn't change my life of how I grew up for the lives that I see young people having today. Here. And they didn't work for nothing. And there's a bunch of spoiled kids running around 80 miles an hour up and down the road in cars that I could never even imagine getting when I was a kid. It's a different world, but I digress. So how you fill these circles, the person says, is up to you. But remember, you don't get any choice on those first two lines. You're not filling anything in. You're just a baby. And then you can fill in those circles in the middle, and you can fill those in on your last chapter, depending on how long of a life you are blessed to have. But when he says, and he brings it home and he says, but what you want to fill these circles with, that's up to you. Just make sure, you ready? You don't regret it when you get to the last circle or the last square. So how much time are you going to waste thinking that life is forever, or I'll work 5 more years to get $500 or $700 more money? You don't even know what this economy is going to be. Well, how much more buying power is that going to give you? What is tomorrow when it isn't promised to anybody? What are you assuming? Why are you boasting and saying, I'm going to hang in there, I'm going to do this? It's okay to plan, but how do you know? And if you don't know, and you kind of get stuck on this money thing, so many of you out there that write comments sometimes, most of you are in agreement. Get your Social Security at 62. Live your life at 50. Quit whenever you can. Never work a prison job. Live your life. If you had a way of doing it, I promote do that. But if you are one of these people that just keep talking about investing in 401s and your property and having a home and making money, and you're going to hang in there these next 5 years when you could be dead, or you are absolutely just here. I want to give you this, my life. Here, here. 5 years, 60 months, 5 decades. No, you know how I'm on my math. A half a decade here in exchange for a little bit of change. That's about all it's going to amount to. Here's my life, my health, my time, everything. Let me just be a prisoner to you at this job, at this life I have, paying these car payments, these lawnmower payments, this big house, these HOAs, this insurance, when you don't need it. You'll find that if you can go out and be free, people just don't get it. When you're free indeed. And it takes a while to get used to it. I told you before, I ride around all the time. I'm like, is there somebody I need to call? Do I need to check with somebody? Is it okay if I just go there to Laughlin and maybe not come back? You know? Or when I'm ready? It's a very strange feeling to adjust to because you are brainwashed, you are conditioned, you are programmed into living a prisoner's life. Now, if you're new to my channel, I use the term prisoner as a humorous term. Anybody that has to be at a job tomorrow at a certain time, until a certain time, and if you don't do the job correctly or you don't show up, they fire you, you're a prisoner. You have to be there. You know, you're on work release, let's say that. You don't have to sleep there. They allow you to go home, do your laundry, have a meal, get some rest, and be back tomorrow at the same time. And make sure when you're here, when I look over your shoulder and manage you, you're doing everything and more than we're paying you for as our prisoner. And I say that lightheartedly and facetiously. Please, don't take such offense. Don't be so, don't be so touchy. This is how I talk. But in reality, when you think about it, it's what it is. And hopefully they do pay you a very fair wage. Hopefully you're saving that money. Hopefully you halfway like that job. It's worth driving in traffic every day and making a lunch and paying the gasoline in your car to get you there. And all these things that come out of that wage that it costs you to go there, to give them your life, your time, and make them money. Okay? You want to continue to do that. When somebody's saying, here's some free money, some Social Security that you paid into. No, it's not going to support you. It's a lot less than you're making at that prison job. But hey, you're going to be released. You can now be free. You can make your money any way you want, either through self-employment, through your own way, through your own ideas. However you want to make your money where it's like, I got this money. You know what I'm talking about? Or you go to work at Walmart as a greeter 3 days a week. And you get a little extra money coming in, but you've been paroled and you're calling the shots. You get to go to work, do what you want to do when you want to work. You can quit that job. They don't care. It's just a part-time job. They're not paying you any benefits when you work part-time. You get to tell them what hours you want to work. They're so lucky to find people today that want to work part-time. That's the way they want it. They don't want to have to pay all these benefits. So you get this little side hustle, this little self-employment business. That's the way to go. Maybe you have a trade or a skill that you can do for money. You advertise it, you get you a few customers, they refer you, you're set. And you enjoy it because it's what you want to do. But if you don't have that and you just want to get out and go to work for a golf course and sit on a golf cart all day and hand out some golf cart keys or wipe down some clubs and get a tip, or you might want to ride around on the drink cart and offer beer and drinks and sodas and sandwiches to the people on the golf course. I always thought that would be cool. There's all kinds of little fun things you can do, and then come home. Maybe you only have to work the 4 hours a day that's the peak time that they need somebody, and then they don't need you the rest of the day, and you're off. And in the scheme of things, when you get off, you're like, yeah, I worked this morning 4 hours. I made some coin. And then at the end of the week and the end of the month, that's accumulated to basically the same amount of money you're getting your free check, your Social Security. They're going, here, for the rest of your life, you don't even have to show up. You don't have to do anything for us. You paid for it. You put into it. This is yours as early as 62. But those that want to say, no, push that aside. Let that grow this much more. And let me give this much more of my life, my health, my time, everything to you in exchange. It's like a ripoff. It's like, let me sign up for the ripoff deal. I'm able to quit now. I'm able to still make about the same amount of money by supplementing it, working a fraction of the time that I'm working for you. And I hate this job. A lot of people don't like their jobs. To changing everything. Maybe you're blessed like me, and you can make a little bit of money on YouTube, and your supplement income is living your life. That's what I'm doing. That's how I earn. If this ever wears out or quits, I will do one of those glorious golf cart, Publix, something. Because it isn't about money. I own everything, so I don't need, to make $1 million. I have some money. I can go and do what I want to do within reason. I mean, I can't fly to Hawaii tomorrow without being broke. But I could go and then be broke. So just having that little peace of mind that you can eat and you got gas for your car and you have freedom to go golf or fish or travel a little bit. Pay some small camp fees or free at Love's Truck Stop or casinos or whatever. Get you a little camper. Collaborate. Find you a partner that also gets Social Security. And now you're really talking. I don't have that. But my promoting quitting your job and getting your Social Security at 62, do you realize since I made those videos and my channel got big from talking about that? I looked online. There are so many YouTube videos now promoting collect Social Security at 62. When I started making those videos, you hardly saw anything like that. Because when I started making those videos, I think what it was when people came in the pandemic and they were put out of work and they were very close to getting their Social Security, they started thinking, well, I can't go back to work. That company went out of business. Now I have to get a new job. Do I just go ahead and retire, or do I find another job? Do I go back into the workforce? And then they were wanting only young people, and it was remote workers. So a lot of people were at that point searching for answers. And coincidentally, Sarasota Tim puts up some videos because I wanted to know too. I searched. And I read and learned that you got to live to be 80 years old to make the difference back from what you collect by waiting 5 years later. And I said, well, that's a no-brainer. I'm not doing that. I don't care if I live to be 100. Why do I got to wait till I'm 80? All those years, 5 years, I got to give up more. But for people that decided to go at 62 after the pandemic, they had not many job choices to go to. There was the pandemic. There was a shutdown. There was this. There was that. And they needed their money. And so they collected. And then they realized it was not a mistake. Then they started watching the videos. And then they started watching these other videos. And now it confirms what they did was smart. And it's never been meant to support you. It's never. In fact, it used to be a fraction of what they're giving you today. And it probably won't ever go up much more. Now they want you to be 67 before you even get full retirement age. You got to be after 1960, it's 67. So, but folks, life is changing so rapidly. How you fill in your circles, your squares, is up to you. Just don't get to the last circle and have any regrets. And if you give up the 2 growing up, then you work all those ones making your money and strapped and raising a family and going through a pandemic and everything else. And then you give up 5 more at the end that you don't have to, that you could be getting a free check, and you give those away too. You look how few circles or squares you've got left in this life. It is finite. And then you got the possibility of disease, cancer, getting hit by a bus, your mental changes, Alzheimer's, you get a bad hip, bad knees, your body starts to wear out, you didn't work out, you're overweight. You get to be one of these people that you see in Walmart or everywhere down in South Florida. Very old looking, moving very slow, hunched over, still breathing in and out, but they're not jogging up and down the beach. They're not going on water slides. They're not water skiing. They're not skateboarding. They're not surfing. They're not getting out, hooking up a camper and going and setting it up. It's over for them. Their squares are coming to an end. They got a few left to color in. And then they go to be with the Lord. And we all want to go to heaven, but nobody wants to go tonight. So think about it. Get off the money train and think about just living. You can do with less when you owe less. It's all relative. Those that have locked themselves in, that push back on this idea, are people that have no way of quitting because they owe this much money every month and they got this much coming in, even working. Or they're even. I mean, they're barely making it. They're fixing to file bankruptcy. They're going to get their car repoed. They're going to get evicted. They're going to lose their house. They're going into foreclosure. Their company's getting ready to do layoffs. They're getting out of business. Who wants to live with that kind of pressure? Who wants to jeopardize and gamble that you have forever? And then when that happens and you owe all that, and then your health goes out. Too many unknowns, folks. Too many unknowns to let circles go uncolored. The ones that are filled in are living life. The ones that are empty are just running around your little circle every day to your job, to the store, back to the house. And then, once a year you take that week or two vacation, you go on a cruise and you come back and it's back to the rat race. I say as soon as you can, start thinking about it now. If you're 55 years old, you got a lot of time. I mean, it goes by like that though. To get out of that debt, to make your arrangements, to think about the side hustle you can do, to get that free check coming in, to owe nothing on a vehicle, to downsize, sell that house, get a little small place, or keep your house if it's paid for and all you have is your taxes. You just don't want HOAs. You don't want, like in Florida, they got all that hurricane insurance. There's only 2 companies, I think, left you can even buy from. They're putting people over the barrel, man. They're just sticking it to them. I mean, it takes all the fun out of it. Like I see these guys riding around these Denali trucks and stuff, paying $1,200 a month truck payment. That just takes all the fun out of it. I mean, after 2 or 3 of those, forget it. It isn't worth it. I'd rather drive a nice truck or a car that somebody had and they had more dollars than cents and they went and got them a new one because it needed a battery, and you can pick it up and drive it for 200,000 miles. Think, be smart. Don't be like these people that are like, oh, no, I'm brainwashed. I listen to the news, I listen to the government, and I listen to my friends, and I listen to my financial guy because he makes money on me keeping my finance investments going. I listen to my lawyer. I listen to my doctor. Ha! Third leading cause of death is going to a doctor. These guys are medicating us and killing us with medical errors left and right. Google it. Next to cancer and heart attack, heart disease, is going to a doctor. Medical errors on surgeries, medications. Half these medications you take will kill you. For what they're supposed to cure, they will kill you. Thoughts of suicide, whatever. Everybody gets put on blood pressure and cholesterol. You can get off that yourself. God can heal you. You can heal yourself. Watch your diet. Lose some weight. Think it that way. Start thinking positive. You draw in what you think. Oh, I'm going to get it. My brother had it. My mother had it. It's in my family. I'm just waiting on it. I'm making my plans now. You're just bringing that into your life. You are a product of what you think. you get in your garden what seed you put in the ground. It's guaranteed. It's a guarantee. You want happiness? Think happy. Smile. Talk to people. Encourage people. Give of your time, your money. Don't listen to the media. Quit watching things that you know are clickbait, that are just, is your mind a garbage can? Are you like, here, fill me. I can get a little bit more junk in my head. I want to go around down in the mouth all day today. I want to complain about the administration. I want to complain about Sarasota Tim. I want to complain about this or that. Here, put it in there. I'm listening. I'm watching. Go ahead, give it to me. Instead, you should be programming your mind with what's good, lovely, healthy, nice, kind, and empty that crap out. Get rid of it and fill your body and your heart. Start growing up. Act like a man. Act like a woman. Lose that childish, immature acts. You know that's not right to act like you're doing, to do what you're doing. Drugs, drinking, smoking, talking like a drunk sailor, typing stuff on your computer to people you don't even know, where you can be anonymous. Yeah, all of that. I'm touching on everything. This is not about that. It's about everything. The media, Fox News, CNN. Those people just want you to watch. Just like those YouTube people. They just want you to watch. They know that dirty laundry is attractive. And, oh, did you hear about, look at the ambulance. There's a wreck. Oh, let me go look at it. Put your blinders on. You know what I do? I learned this from somebody I used to be involved with. It's a trick, she used to say. I never forgot her saying that. It's a trick. When you're approaching an accident on the freeway, you know what I do every time? I remember what she said. It's a trick. Look straight ahead. First of all, you're going to run into somebody if you want to gawk. And keep the traffic moving. Because you ever notice that when you get to the accident, when you get past it, there's nobody there. People are just slowing down to look at the tragedy. Maybe I can see somebody mangled up. Mind your business. Mind the business that you need to mind. Keep this going right, because you're not responsible for what's going on out there in the world. There's a lot of craziness. We all know it. You're only responsible for you. And what are you going to do with your life? Huh? How many of those years, these squares or circles, are you not going to fill in? How many of those are you going to fill in or give to watching Fox News or CNN? How many of those are you going to give into sitting there typing on a keyboard every day? Or doing nothing, continuing to work for this dead-end job when the government says, here, I got a check waiting for you here. But they don't want you to get it either. They're hoping you die. They don't want to have to give somebody a Social Security check for 10 or 20 years. They're hoping you die. Hey, wait till you're 70. We'll give you $500 more money, $700 more money, whatever it is. I mean, they paint this big picture. Some people tell me online, it's 67. This 70 years old, that exponential waiting to get that much larger amount. First of all, it's dumb to wait till 70. I mean, that's just dumb. 2, nobody does that. They quit at 66 and 8 months or 67 at full retirement age. There's an extra bump you get if you're some rich person that doesn't need it and you take it at 70. You can't hand it off to anybody. You don't get to pass it down to anybody. Well, I think there's some spousal benefits they can collect on you, but they got to wait till they're 70 to get that full amount. If they start drawing it at 60, they get a reduced amount. So there's always a trick. The government and the people that want to give you things, the financial advisors, they're all like, oh yeah, keep investing. Listen to me. Look at lawyers. It's all about billable hours to them. They can never fix anything straight away that you can do yourself. Look at chiropractors. You got good insurance, right? You come in here for about 33 days, twice a day in a row, and we can crack your back the same exact way we do with everybody that comes in here for whatever they say they got. We do the one motion. But you got good insurance, right? Yeah, we can take care of you. We can fix that for you in about 30 or 40 visits. Everything is a gimmick. If you look at everything closely, everything is a trick. Everything is about making money on you. Reverse mortgages, buying cars, memberships. How about I just watched something this morning, timeshare. With the maintenance fees, you never, even though they lie and say they never go up, they do. And they say that you have ownership, you really never own anything. That's the biggest gimmick in the world. An Airbnb or a VRB or whatever they're called is a much better deal than a timeshare. And a lot of people want to get out of them, but you're contractually responsible. They want to sign you up, everybody in the world. It's all about making money and conning you into something. Be smart. Get out of debt, start living your life free, and start crushing it.